This is the 1/72 scale Kawasaki T4 Blue Impulse kit by Hasegawa. This is going to be my first Hasegawa kit to ever build. I decided to build a model airplane for my father-in-law. He really likes going to air shows and such. And at first I didn't know really what to do. Actually, this past week or so, I just barely started on this F-14 Tomcat because I thought maybe that'd be pretty cool to build this for him. But after looking at his little collection that he has these toys. I figured that he would probably get a kick out of this Blue Impulse. So he goes to air shows, and yeah, airplanes really knock him out. So I decided to pick this up. This is only like 1,000 yen I paid for it, roughly about 1,000 yen off of yodobashi.com. So this is my first time opening it up. So let's take a look inside. This is I saw the instruction manual on Hobby Search. That was at 1999.co.jp site, and they have scans of the manual and such. It doesn't really seem to be a very complicated or intricate model, and since there's no ordnance or anything, it's just a straightforward, just a chip. So no missiles or whatever. So here's the bottom and the two halves. I will most likely, it doesn't come with a stand, so I'll just build it with the landing gears and such. So it's pretty nice. Don't really, yeah, it's got some divots and such, really thin panel lines. Okay, and yeah, pretty no nonsense. Pretty straightforward. Now it does have, it looks like some drop tanks, some energy, some fuel drop tanks. Now let's look here. I don't know what this paper is about. Maybe it's just here to protect this, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, that must be what that is. So, here are the decals. The problem with this, though, is okay, now I saw this on the website I just mentioned, and I thought of something. This is going to maybe be a bit tricky. Now, it has the blue decals, as you can see, for like the back aileron and such. And it has white decals for the bottom side. It has this, all of this is one white decal, which is this here. And then you're gonna have to come up with your own blue though. And whether or not that blue on the bottom is gonna match the blue decals, that's kind of difficult. That is very difficult to pull off. So now the blue, it calls for Mr. Hobby's 322 80% and 323. I can't remember. I think 322 is like cyanide blue or something other, and 323 is light blue, if I remember correctly. So it's not even an actual paint. You know, it's just a combination of two different paints. Whether or not, if you follow that, it's going to come up to match this blue in the decal or not, that's a good question. I'm wondering if it's possible to just mask this. Let's look at the wings here. I guess this is the wings. I don't see any sort of, there's no line here, any sort of guide. I wonder. Yeah, this is, huh. Now, apparently, in the in the construction of this. You know, some of these pieces can be, you know, painted up, you know, and then assembled, perhaps. That might be a good way to do it. I wonder if I could get some masking. Trace these out. And see, I don't know if this is, is there, maybe not. I wonder if I can cut this, put it like a masking, like a thick masking down, trace along that, cut it out, and then put the masking onto the airplane, if I can get away with that or not. That is a good question. Well, other than that, because I can just get started with some of the sub-assemblies. It calls for, what other, okay, white, got it, red, got it, silver, got it, flat base, whatever. Clear red, clear blue, got that, burnt iron, I got that, tire black, no problem. Gray, 317. Yeah, so this gray here, it gives the FS number. You got this phthalo, cyanide blue, and light blue. So these three colors I'll have to buy in order to get this. I'm just really wondering if I can do a good job without using those blue decals, or if I can come up with the paint that will match properly. The deal is that even if I think that the paint, you know, if it looks close enough, it might be great, but, you know, once you paint something and then the paint dries, then it doesn't quite look the same anymore, you know? You know, a paint might look lighter when it's wet, and then it gets darker as it dries. Well, I'll just get started with some assembly, I guess. What I'm doing is I'm preparing the stuff for painting, and what I've done is detached the stuff from the sprues here, just keeping this with a bit of the sprue so that it'll be easier for painting, just like so. See? And that should make it a bit easier. So same thing goes for this part here. Now looking at the instructions, we have two of these parts, G12. Okay, apparently this is like a duplicated runner here. So this part is the top? Or no? Yeah. Okay, this is the top. Just be very careful. There we go. Carefully drop it as well. That's just, you know, the best way to go. Gosh, goofball. And I'll have to repeat this for the other piece too, but so I'll just detach this as normal. The seats are identical. There we go. So, repeat the process for this one here. Okay, I don't really feel like getting out the spray can, and I don't need to prime the entire interior here. All I need to do is just prime just this the part where the seats are gonna go. So I'm just brushing this on directly. This is Mr. Surfacer 1000. I'm just using this as a primer. Looks nice, huh? So I'm just getting out the inside here, and while I'm at it, I'll just hand brush all of these as well, since I'm at it. And see, I got these attached to the little skewers here. Just gonna hand brush all of this. I don't feel like getting out the spray can. Okay, so before assembling the cockpit of the Blue Impulse, we need to do some decaling. Now, the parts numbers for these two consoles are the same number, B1 and B3. Oh no, they're not the same. They're actually a little bit slightly different. And you can see, I don't know if you can see this, but the shapes are slightly different. Decals are different as well. So the decals kind of hang over the edge, but I think I could take care of that with some Mark Setter solution. So in the past, when you have seen me do decals, I've soaked them in the water until they kind of fall off. So I've become a little bit better educated since I've last done this. And let me show you what I've learned. So let me cut this a little bit closer. Okay, so this is decal number 78. This goes into the co-pilot seat. I'm not really good at thinking and talking at the same time when I'm doing something like this. So anyhow, yeah, this might not show up, but you got like these throttles here, and so that goes in the front. So just kind of do this face down, put it in the warm, somewhat lukewarm water. Just count to 10. Now take it out. A little rag here. Just kind of dab off some of the excess. Just set it aside. Wait for about 30 seconds until it's kind of wants to slide off on its own. So what I'm going to do here is use some Mark Setter and just kind of paint Mark Setter on the areas here where the co-pilot seat goes. Now let's take a look at this. Now this is just a wet pointed Tamiya Q-tip, or sorry, not a Q-tip, cotton swab, and this is coming off real easy here. Okay, so what we do is cut your show. Just kind of slide it off here, and voila. So this is again my first Hasegawa kit that I have ever built, and these decals are pretty darn nice. I've worked with some crappy decals before. I did not have to go over this with like a liquid decal film or anything like that. These decals are just fine, and even when I screwed up, I can just lift it up with my my decal tweezers here, and they came off just fine. So once I get this into position here, just kind of roll it. Yeah. I kind of bumped it here. Shoot. Let me just get the tweezers here. See, these are pretty solid decals. There. So, let me try this again here. I'm also trying to make this a little bit more visible for you. So just kind of roll the decal, you know, kind of dab off some of the excess here. It's kind of hard to do that on a large, on a really small area like this, but there we go. So I'll do the last piece. So decals are in place thanks to Mr. Mark Softer. See the sides of the seats here, the decals are in place. The headrests are flat red. And the flight yokes, the tips of the flight yokes need to be colored flat black. So that's what I've done here. Now, when removing the consoles, you gotta make sure to leave the little tab there, and I didn't do that for the back one. I just kind of snipped it off the runner, not thinking. So it kind of helps if you keep that in place, because the instructions say that these fit into the holes here. So I'm going to have to work my way around that right now. And here's my glue. Let's just get some glue here. There. And by the way, when using the Mr. Mox softer, it wrapped the decals around just perfectly fine. Now, okay, so I made a mistake, as I mentioned, but it's maybe not such a bad deal. Now, if I get my extra thin cement with the extra thin brush here, oops, this thing has been seen some better days, I think. Now, I'll just move this a little bit forward and just brush right here. So they got this little bump, this little square bump here where these rest against. So it's really not that big a deal. We'll see about the second one. In fact, hell, maybe I'll just use this after all, the stronger cement. Just keep that in place with there. There. Now let's do the same for the back here. Just paint that there. Dab it down below. There. Then just put this into place like so. There, it should be the right way to do this. Okay. Now the flight yokes were not that difficult to put in. It kind of helps if you have like tweezers like this to kind of set in place. I just pushed it down with my finger. So now I want to make sure, see, this one's a little bit loose. Let's flip this upside down and make sure that these delicate little things don't get too loose. Let's just glob a whole bunch of glue right there. And that should hopefully secure those small parts into place. Now, now that this is done, I can wait for this to dry a bit and then get started with the assembly of the main body. Stay tuned. Okay, next let's apply some glue here and right here. Let's do a little bit more here. It's perfectly fine to be generous with the glue in this space here. There. And so this fits here and here, and there. Now, since we can glue this into place along here, that would be the best thing to do. There. Maybe even along here. so next I will be gluing all along here as well. Okay, so I got all of this here. Just be careful. And here. Just kind of snaps into position here. Nice. I need to maybe trim this off here, sand it, and just to make sure, just clamp it, let it dry. Clothespins come in pretty handy. I always keep these in my modeling supplies drawer. Okay, so main assembly, it was pretty easy. The wings went on pretty well. One tricky thing is this tiny little part. This is part number G11. And there's like a little outline of where this was supposed to go on the wing here. And I'm just kind of guessing. But the mark shows it to go like that, so I think I got it right on the first try actually. That was not very fun. So let me see how straight that is. It looks pretty straight. Okay. Gosh, let's do the other one. I'll show you what that is here. You're clipping off this really tiny little detail off of the sprue here. Let's see, this is G11. So I just cut it off. And holy crap. So you just gotta get the tweezers here. Alright. Make sure you don't pinch it and make it go flying across the room where you're never gonna find it again. You know, a lot of modelers have carpet in their place. That's got to make it even more difficult, like on a shag carpet. But just paint a little bit of glue here. Jeez, I don't like stuff like this. This is tiny. Very tiny. And you have to trust me, but there's a little groove. A little boxy, little square groove. Where, on the side of the wing here, where the aileron here. Okay, I think I got it. See, I'm not right-handed, so that was kind of difficult. I should have done this left-handed. There. Now, jeez. Oh, you know what? I got it upside down. Crap. Butt sandwich. Ah, crap. Jeez. It's this kind of stuff that I don't like doing. Crapatronic. Alright. Paint the glue onto it. Now, make sure I get it right this time here. I think I got it. Jeez. It would have been nicer if they just made this into a mold detail or something. Crapalicious. Kind of a little bit too far back. I just kind of slid it forward. There. Oh my golly. Jeez. There you go. Here's another detail. Try to get this in frame here. Smeared some glue on this. And then they go into the holes here. Jeez, there it is. They could have just made this a part of the mold detail. I don't know why. I don't know why they made this a separate part, but that has now been attached. Golly, that was a pain in the butt. So, yeah, this is called an air scoop. And there you go. And there's another part, actually, that even tinier part that goes on right next to that part. D10. Where is the D runner? D10. Look at this tiny little thing. What is the use of having this as an actual... Oh my golly. Ugh. I don't know what D11 is, but it's slightly bigger, but there we go, D10. That goes on to... I don't know what it goes on to, but I'll have to figure that out. Oh my gosh, it's just got some glue on it. Yeah, I managed to do it. Now let me just reposition it. Oh my gosh. This is just barely there. And there's probably not enough glue. No, not enough glue. But that's where it goes. Dang it. Okay, so I tried to actually take this piece off here, off the other runner. This is part number G10. And again, this is like, it's so incredibly tiny that it could have easily just been part of the mold. It's supposed to fit in like right here on either side. However, I already lost one. It's just so just incredibly tiny, you can't even glue it. It's just too small. Hasegawa, just no idea why they couldn't have just molded something this puny onto the actual part. So it's gone. Oh wait, no, here, I just found it. I mean, is it even worth it? I don't know. I'll put this here. The only other thing to do right now is I'll have to hold off on this, but as you can see here, the jet intakes here, it's kind of slide into position here. Oops, got it upside down. There. So, looks pretty cool, huh? But I think if I do this, I might not get paint in there very easily. I'm not sure if I should do that or not. So, good question. On top of that, you can see inside there, it looks kind of weird. I'm looking at the instructions, and I don't see anything that's supposed to go back behind there to block off the view at all, other than maybe just painting it black inside. I don't know. I mean, that is an option. Like paint black here and then put this on. I don't know. Not sure. The glue, I'll just let this sit for a day before I try to file some of these off. There's a piece here, I think where the gate was. I'll have to file that smooth. And the detail is really fine, so I have to be careful. I don't want to sand off any of the detail. So very shallow panel lines. So I don't know, I might leave this off, paint it, paint these things and then put these on later, glue them on later. So, good question. Anyhow, I think I'll call it a night here. These things are for drop tanks, and instructions say that they normally don't have drop tanks, and that's what these things are here. I will leave them off. I don't see the point of putting drop tanks on these. You know, these are mostly used for air shows, so yeah. I'm not making like a fighter or anything like that. This is just going to be the Blue Impulse, so I'm going to leave this off. So I will be priming this with, drumroll, okay, this is Gaia Notes Surfacer, Silver Surfacer. I'm going to prime it with silver. Neat. I can't believe it, but I actually got these little details here. Here's one, here's the other. I actually glued them on. I'm sure they're going to fall off eventually, but I would urge you that if you don't like tiny little things like that, skip this part, because we're supposed to be enjoying this hobby, because it relaxes us, and if it doesn't relax us and it gives us stress, then it's not worth it. But I actually managed to get those little tiny pieces on, but I don't think they're really that worth it, really, to be honest.